Maven Scouts is a product development company and also an entrepreneur support organization where we run an accelerator, bringing companies through our cohort for potential investment. So it's been fun. We rebranded Maven, being a subject matter expert, right, and then scouting opportunities. So you put the two together, and expert scouting opportunities for small businesses, and then ourselves as well, licensing IP for the government.
For anybody watching right now, let them go to your website while they're watching this. What is that website? Because it's a pretty cool site.
Yeah, so they can go to mavenscouts.com, check us out there, and then my contact information's there, and definitely reach out. So
okay, Maven Scouts. How did Maven Scouts end up in Monroe, Louisiana?
Yeah, so we started in Bossier City, Louisiana. We founded as a Precision Platform Solutions. Took a year off and decided I wanted to get back after it. We founded off of a need from AFWorks, which is an innovation arm of the Department of Defense and U.S. Air Force. And we were successful over the past, I'd say 5.5 years, and decided to get back after it after taking a year off. So I said, I'm going to approach it a little differently this time, and we're going to license IP based off needs that end users in the DoD are wanting and needing. So the technology is already out there, and working with academia partners such as ULM, Grambling, and others. And research institutions like our partner over at the Biomedical Research Innovation Park. So it's key stakeholders like that enable us to do what it is we do with the government, investors, and other public-private partnerships. Then we also have a good relationship and partnership with Lumen Technologies. So they've been with us from the very beginning. This is the innovation space. Anything can happen. You're constantly iterating, and you're constantly building new solutions based off of needs. And there's always needs, and there's always gaps that can be bridged.
Yeah, I think the Grant and I recently have probably met more in the last 2 weeks. He knew I was moving before my mom did, so that's how much.
That's all that DoD stuff coming out. Right. Is what it is.
For Catalyst, it was like, hey, here's a group coming in that's going to allow more resources, more subject matter experts that can help these companies in the technology space grow, excel, and that's something our area in Northeast Louisiana hadn't had previously. So it was exciting to have y'all move in. We're glad y'all are here because we know that type of stuff is going on in Shreveport with Barksdale and BRF and some groups over there. But to be able to plug into that and have y'all here, I think it's going to open up a lot of new opportunities. Tell us a little bit more some of the projects y'all have going on.
Yeah, so I'd like to, kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, backing up, to Delta Airlines, Coca-Cola, CenturyLink. Those are all nostalgic, brands and legacy companies that made a lot of impact in this area. And the old adage of everybody wanting to leave, right? They want to go to school and then leave and go to Dallas or wherever. We want to retain the talent here, right? The city of Monroe and Mayor Ellis has done a phenomenal job with their layouts and what he did in his first term. And, the second term, I've encouraged them to pour on the gas. And if anybody's, blocking that activity, they need to stop because this area has to grow, being between Dallas and Vicksburg. This is an important corridor. Whether people realize that or not, you look at the Louisiana Purchase, you look at the history of World War II, you've got the Flying Tigers, we've got the museum down in New Orleans, you've got the 101st Airborne that was founded here at Camp Minden in that area. I'm sorry, Camp Claiborne, I believe it was, not Minden. It's just the history is significant. So, what are we doing now, right? What are persons that went through the education system here, that went to college, that went and boomeranged back, as they call it, right? And who wants to become a Maven in their expertise, right? And it's going to take a community of neighbors to come together. And that's just a part of, getting in where you fit in and doing your part. So we've had a lot of companies down south and from other states reach out talking about moving here. We've got some renewable energy companies. We've got some AI companies. We got some companies that are going to enhance the tensile strength of military aircraft, right, in the manufacturing arena. We've got a stem cell company and a few others that are reaching out. They say AI is big. It is big. Anything you touch now most likely has AI interacting with it, right? So we're not taking just anybody, right? They've got to qualify, we've got to vet them, and they've got to have a legitimate company to have commercial validity and also an overall product, right? They have to have a good team.
Well, tell us what exactly you are looking for. I mean,
yeah,
people that are watching, the ideal group or person or business that you are looking to work with is what?
Yeah, so we're looking for from an entrepreneur standpoint, to have a good attitude, right? To be creative. We're looking for, we're all inclusive, right? So we're looking for any veteran, right? Anyone from a diverse background. We're looking for a product that's going to disrupt, right? That's not a true product, a true minimum viable product that can be applied to the 16 critical infrastructures and that can also be applied to the Department of Defense's use cases, right? And those use cases range from, how you treat water treatment, right, to processes on military aircraft, to wound care, right, when someone goes down. It's so vast, right? But typically, if you're a market leader and you're fast following the market demands and you get that demand signal, it's all about timing, right? And so we've got to qualify them. We're also looking for a company that's anywhere from a $1 million to $3 million valuation, right? If they come to us with an idea, that's great. We also have free workshops that we're going to be offering, right? So that's what's really cool, and that's what we're not turning just anyone away. And so those free workshops include our partners with the SBDC, right? Delta Community College, and a functionality that we have there, because that entrepreneur needs resources. They may come to us and say, hey, I have an idea, but I've never filed for an LLC. Right. And we want to be able to help them through our entrepreneurs support organization, contract with the Small Business Administration, right? And maybe they come to us 6 months after that and they're like, hey, I'm ready. Awesome. Let's take you through our Accelerator and get you qualified.
Now, you've got one of these workshops coming up on September 12th. Talk to us a little bit about that and who would you like to sign up, register, and how to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have an event. It's our Maven Works event program that will consist of Louisiana Economic Development, GSA, United States Air Force. Obviously, Origin will be there. We'll have investors, and then we'll have our startups there as well that are our clients and that we're working with. And anybody that's interested in learning, more about innovation and how to engage with us, investors obviously can come. And if you have an idea or have a startup and you're interested in learning more, I encourage you to come out as well. And even if you don't, aren't interested in starting anything, you just want to learn about what's going on in the innovation space, definitely encourage you to come out and have a seat and learn something new.
Is there a cost, and how do we register?
Yeah, so there's no cost. It's free. It's free to the public. It'll be at ULM. You can register on Eventbrite, the Maven Works National Security Accelerator, online.
Now, who should attend this? You know a lot of folks around here, a lot of businesses. Who is somebody you really want to be there? The type of business.
I'd love for the Mid-South folks to be there, right? The Vantage, the Oshners, the Glenwoods, the St. Francis, all of the critical, Riverwood. Is it still called that?
I believe it's graphic packaging.
Okay, graphic packaging. My grandfather worked at the Riverwood, but graphic packaging and folks like that to come out because they're having problems all the time, right? And it takes that entrepreneur who's probably driving these streets. It's like, I have an idea, and in 5 years, it's so innovative that somewhere like graphic packaging or Mid-South needs that idea. It's like, how'd you come up with this? How'd you know that we had this problem? So I want industry leaders to come out and be with us and champion, this area and be proud of this area. I know the governor came in, and I have a kind of a running, it's not a joke, but just a running dialogue in my mind. It's like, okay, so we run the National Security Accelerator for the state of Louisiana, right? So national security is big. So is economic security, right? Everything going on in the United States right now is crucial and imperative to our future. So who are we as Monroe and West Monroe, Louisiana, and Ouachita Parish when we come together as one, right? No division, just one.
Absolutely.
Who are we when we do that?
We are amazing is what we are.
Absolutely. So I want that one Ouachita Parish, in that building to learn and say, hey, I have an idea, right? That's the cool opportunity is people get to engage with something that they otherwise wouldn't be able to engage with, right? So what that also allows is for people who may be scared to get fired at work and say, hey, we have this problem. We can come to the event and say you have that problem, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's all encompassing, and I hope that answers your question. I don't want people just because, I didn't hear about this. No, come out. You're invited. And we will have requirement just everybody to sign up on the Eventbrite, even when they get there. And if they didn't sign up, we're going to require that because that's going to build our database of Mavens. Right. We want people informed because how do you guys see it when people are getting informed? Are they getting informed by trust, and intentional connections, or are they getting informed on the news, right? That's changing every which way.
Absolutely.
And to your point, it takes these type of events to take people out of their normal atmosphere at work, to put them in a room with entrepreneurs and have that discussion to start creating the innovation spark that, oh, you had this problem. Well, you just never know who knows someone, or when you connect people, what can happen. So I'm glad you are here. I know the event's going to be great. Another thing I wanted to touch on, because I didn't want to forget, you and I have been talking a lot about veteran-owned businesses.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch on what we've been talking about as far as like a roundtable thing and kind of gives our veterans an idea of how to connect with us?
Yeah, our community is so diverse. When it comes to veterans, there's so many successful veterans in the region, right? And a lot of people that aren't veterans or are veterans that don't lead with that, right? They lead with, I'm an entrepreneur. This is what I do, this is my daily practice, and then you find out later, hey, I'm a veteran, right? And then you also have the veteran that goes to the veteran service organizations, right? And they're like, I have an idea, I enjoy being with my brothers and sisters, I'm trying to find that connection, I'm trying to work on my mental wellness. And then you also have veterans that, man, I'm completely lost, right? I'm drinking a whole lot.
Need you to help.
And I need you to help me, etc. Right. So when you group those folks together, right? Again, it's that oneness, and I believe that we can create some really good ideas and innovate through our veteran community as well. So I don't want to talk about it just yet, but I want to encourage veterans to more or less come together, because what this community and other communities throughout our nation forgets about is the recruiters that are allowed in our high schools to recruit the talent in which was invested in by the school system.
Right.
And they pick those entities out, typically from dysfunctional households, and they deploy into the military. They go and do things that most people will never do in their lives, and they come back to here.
Right.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
Right? What are we doing?
Right.
Veteran aside, what are we doing? Because everybody's got a story. So that's where we've got to meet the veteran where they're at and say, hey, I appreciate your service, but as a veteran, how can we serve our community?
Right.
How can I give back to the community in which I fought for overseas or in this nation? Right, so that's a different way to look at it. It took me a while to get there to wrap my head around, oh wait, I can't just sit down and lay down. I have an obligation to serve my community, and this is my community because this community has given to me. Right? And if I give to the community and we as one give to the community, it will give back.
Right.
Where do you see Maven Scouts in Monroe 1 to 3 years from now?
Yeah, so great question. 1 to 3 years from now, Maven Scouts, I see it. I don't want to give it all away, honestly.
Okay.
But I do see it as hiring subject matter experts, and then more persons that are coming out of the out of ULM and other universities to establish working with these critical infrastructure components. I know there's a lot coming to Monroe. I see it as a staple, as a legacy company that's going to be working with those critical partners such as Mid-South, Graphic Packaging, Ochsner, to stay here and create jobs. That's where I see it 1 to 3 years from now.
All right.
And I'll take it a step further. 10 years from now, I see it as and this is going to be bold, but I see it as we got a big building over there at 800,000 square feet, and there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of people. People have mentioned Meta, they've mentioned data servers, this and that, all around farmland and Bill Gates, and there's a lot, quote unquote, coming.
Yes.
But I see interaction, with that building and with other projects that are going on. And when you ask someone, who do you work with, they'd say, well, I work with Maven Scouts. I am a Maven, right? And so when you meet that person, you're going to meet a subject matter expert or someone working towards becoming a subject matter expert. You're not going to meet someone that doesn't know what they're doing, right? Or doesn't have the answer and can get it to you tomorrow. No, they're going to know the answer, right, when you meet them. So that's where
already ready, already trained, already ready to go to work.
Absolutely. So that takes generations, a generational pipeline from start to finish. And I would encourage and this may upset, some folks, but you only get one shot, right? If the generations that have come before us built something, I encourage them to let it go a little at a time so that their legacy lives on and all their hard work doesn't go into vain. And this is an old town.
Yeah.
So to the generational wealth and to the persons that are out there that, don't know what they don't know and are hanging on, what are you hanging on for? Invest in the youth and invest in people and keep them here. That's what I would encourage you to do. Right?
Well, before we wrap it up, September 12th, talk to us how to register and what you're looking for that. I know we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, but want to give you that last shot and how to find more about Maven Scouts.
Yeah, so September 12th, Maven Works program event hosted by Maven Scouts and all of our partners. You can go to Eventbrite and search that. You can go on our LinkedIn. You can also go to our website, mavenscouts.com. It'll be from 8:30 to 5. And then also, we're having a ribbon cutting, so
I'll definitely be in that.
I want you there. I want you guys there. So looking forward to having you guys there, and that's who I want there. I want you guys there, right?
Yep,
I want
we'll do it.
And bring your community and bring the community together, and let's have fun with this, right? That's what I haven't said today. People say I'm too intense or I'm too uptight. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
let's
Let your hair down.
let's let our hair down and let's have fun with this. It's innovation, you know, because if we're always rigid and can't have fun, then why are we here? What are we doing it for?
Grant with Maven Scouts, mavenscouts.com. And this has been Small Business Stories. We appreciate you tuning in today.
Thank you.